ולמעלה, ולמטה. זהו. We stayed the night in a small village looking from above on the city of Ioannina. During the night, we managed to take a hold of the Stone of Fear. But first, we had to take it with us to the mountains of Zagori in order to manipulate its black magic. The road took us to small and beautiful villages, places like Monodendri with its mysterious monastery and Papigo with its good local restaurant. A few trolls tried to disturb us on our way, but we got some nice assistance from the forest fairies who dismantled all the potentially harmful spells. So this is the Stone of Fear. I cannot tell you how it feels, but it doesn't really feel nice. When you hold it, it gives me such a terrible feeling that the one thing you don't want to do is to put it aside. But hopefully soon enough we will be able to activate it by performing the ceremony at this certain village over here in the Zagori mountains. So far I'm trying not to hold it too much in my hands because it will make me crazy. So we arrived at these mountains. It's very nice, famous with its bridges. The knights are very agile today. Zagori is a region and a municipality in Pindus Mountains in Epirus, in the northwestern Greece. It has an area of some 1,000 kilometers squares and contains 46 villages known as the Zagori villages. The population of the area is about 3,700 people, which gives a density of 4 inhabitants per square kilometer. Very sparse when compared to an average of 73.8 for Greece as a whole. Zagori is an area of great natural beauty with striking geology and 2 national parks, one including the river Aus and the Vikos Gorge. The 46 or so villages of Zagori were interconnected by mountain roads and traditional arched stone bridges until modern roads were opened in the 1950s. The stone arch bridges were built in the 18th century and replaced all the wooden bridges. The region has been historically difficult to access due to its mountainous terrain, which likely contributed to its unique character. Following the union with Greece after the Balkan Wars, the area suffered demographic decline partly due to the immigration to Greek urban centers. The area of Epirus around Zagori bore the brunt of the Italian attack on Greece in 1940. The area became additionally affected by the conflict between the Germans and the partisans of Napoleon Zervas during the Second World War. At the time, several of the villages of Zagori and the monastery of Vodza were burned. Most of the villages became deserted during the Greek Civil War of 1946 to 1949. Since the 1980s, state initiatives aim to preserve the traditional character of the villages and the natural landscape. Riding the dangerous part of the mountains to Monodendri and the other villages, surrounded by trolls, I could not ignore the memory of the prophet who encouraged us to go on this quest. On the top of the hill he stood, under the same invigorating tree, and excited them with his armor-penetrating sentences and fire-spitting monsters, flogging the bare shining folly with his words, and they stood still like a swarm of bees that was sprayed with dry ice. Later, when he was gone, the naked king raised his eyes and said how magnificent he is, and the small boy dressed in rags said that there is nothing like him. Only a street dog was left there laughing at their misfortune. We reached the village of Monodendri and took some time to admire the old monastery, the church and the local cafe. We took much care not to speak about our mission near the local cats, who were potentially spies of the dark forces. Just before leaving the village, we took some time to perform the Circle of Light ceremony, and by thus activate the power of the Stone of Fears. On the way to the Pepirgo village, we encountered an elf that informed us of a great storm doing its way towards us. Little did we know that the nice weather of the last 3 days is going to change dramatically in the next 24 hours. A reminder that one cannot take lightly the might of the dark forces. Nevertheless, we concluded faster our visit to this area and returned to our inn near Ioannina. After placing our horses in the stable of the inn, I took some time to ask our knights a few questions. Lady Shish said that she comes from the kingdom of the Watchtails. I don't know where it is. She also said that her worst battle was taking a body out of her body. I guess that only a woman would understand them. And her favorite weapon is the crossbow. And when I asked her why did you join this quest, she said that she came to do the task of the Mother Confessor. So I guess that if you want to know what a Mother Confessor is, you should read the saga The Sword of Truth by Terry Goodking. Sir Jerry claimed that he comes from the Middle Earth regions. I bet that Tolkien would be very pleased with that. His most difficult battle was on the mines of the dwarfs when they dug too deep and disturbed a demon of a great power. Its name was Balrog. His favorite weapon is the longbow, and he joined the quest because he was available and had nothing better to do. Sir Massimo claimed that he came from the kingdom of the Invisibles, and that his most difficult battle was against the army of the kingdom of the corrupted without pigment. I don't think you can find it on Google Maps. His most favorite weapon is the battle axe, and he joined the quest because he was curious and challenged. As the storm entered our region during the night, we faced some harsh weather conditions and decided to leave our horses at the inn, as it was clear that riding all the way up to Tsumerka region will be impossible due to the low visibility and the poor condition of the road. Further, we got a message from the king that up on the mountains there is a small army of trolls awaiting us in an ambush, as someone betrayed us and exposed our location. We decided to leave the third stone in that area and go for a day in Ioannina trying to find the fourth stone, the stone of shit. It's that kind of stone that makes you feel like shit, just like the weather that was forced upon us by the dark forces. Perma is a town and a former municipality in the Ioannina region unit, Epirus, Greece. It lies about 4 kilometers north of central Ioannina. The town's name means passage, and it lies on the northern edge of a lake, Pamvotis. It is famous for its cave known as the Cave of Perama. The cave that was discovered in the time of World War II, as the villagers tried to find shelter in it from the bombing, is extending 5 kilometers below the ground and having been explored fully only up to 1 kilometer, as a remarkable arrangement of stalagmites and stalactites. Inside the cave it was warm and dry, but outside you could feel the storm is building up, so we decided to visit the castle. We contacted the local carriage driver who took us along the city sights. First we visited the castle. We learned about the famous Ottoman ruler Ali Pasha, and it was raining heavily all the time, which was a good thing, as I found out that my old raining jacket was leaking, so I bought a new one in the city. Finally, we got a message regarding the location of the stone of shit. It was supposed to be found inside the old Jewish graveyard. As usual, with no luck, the gates were closed, but no such thing would hold brave knights as us. Yes, we sent Sir Massimo inside, and it was a good thing we did. After so much rain and with the precious stone in our pocket, we retired to one of the local restaurants in the city to discuss our next steps, as time was running out and we had to move along regardless of the weather conditions. Thank you for joining us in this episode. Don't forget to subscribe down below and give us big thumbs up. Join us in our next episode, in which we are going to fight the big monster from the east.